Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Mangg Plays the Best Games of All Time. As you can see there, this game was designed by Chris Roberts, who you may know as being the man behind Star Citizen. But unlike Star Citizen, this game was actually released in 1990. It's called Wing Commander. It's part of the Wing Commander franchise, originally released on MS-DOS. We are going to be playing it on the Sega CD, believe it or not. So this version's from '94. We're cheating a little bit, although it's not really a better version in most senses. I went through a number of versions. Of course, I started trying out the DOS version. Here's the problem with the DOS version. It's actually the version that GOG sells, which means that they just bundle it with DOSBox that's configured. The problem is Wing Commander 1, the game speed is tied to your CPU cycle rate. And DOSBox just doesn't play nicely with games like that. It can play nicely with some, because you can adjust the cycle rate, but the problem is when the game kind of fluctuates or lags or things like that, things can get really wonky. So, like, for Wing Commander 1, you might set the cycle rate somewhat high so that it plays at a good speed normally when you're just, like, fighting one or two ships, but then you bring in 3 or 4 ships as enemies, and then the game, like, slows to a crawl, so then you have to really crank up the cycle rate. But then once you destroy a couple ships, then the game runs super fast, so you have to crank it back down. And yeah, the reviews on GOG were not kind and just said, skip it. I tried the Amiga version. That basically was just shit. I don't know. I struggle with Amiga emulation. So that wasn't an option. There is an SNES version, but I figured that was like last resort. There was a later version on Windows 95, but I felt like that might just be too far along. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I should give it, like, the best possible chance to be good. But I don't know. So we're doing Sega CD, because I can play it with a controller. Everything works. There's no funkiness. And it's, it looks fine. It works. There's no speed issues, at least. So, Wing Commander is a space flight simulator. You're doing a lot of dogfights. I mean, that's basically what it is. This isn't like Elite or anything like that where you're doing all these trading and stuff like that. You're doing dogfights, but it has this whole story campaign with characters and all that you're meant to, go along with. And it has, like, cutscenes, and it has, like, this version has voice acting. So it's pretty, modern shit going on here as far as a lot of the aspects of the game. The actual dogfighting is going to be dated. It's going to look dated. Now, I would probably be more interested in playing Wing Commander Privateer, which was like a spin-off that was more like Elite, where you actually were like a freelancer, you did trading, you could be a mercenary, you could be a pirate, stuff like that. And Privateer 2 The Darkening has this whole story thing with like Clive Owen as the main character, and it's got Jurgen Prochnow and John Hurt and Christopher Walken and Brian Blessed. I mean, it's like, and Wing Commander 3 and 4 have their own cast of actors because they switched to live action stuff. So Wing Commander 3 and 4 has Mark Hamill as the main character, John Rhys Davies, Thomas F. Wilson, Malcolm McDowell, Josh Lucas. Pretty crazy shit. I don't think either of those games are on this list, though. Let me just do a quick search. No. Only the first game. Very curious. Because usually people don't talk too much about the first one. And whenever I hear Wing Commander, I hear talk of like Mark Hamill and stuff in the third and fourth game. But the first one was pretty popular and was a big deal at the time because of how, you know, modern it was, and expensive it was at the time to make. Dragon magazine gave it 6 stars out of 5. I mean, holy shit. A lot of praise for this game. So, yeah, I mean, let's just get into it. I've already done a little bit just to test the controls, of course. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, the actual gameplay is going to come off as dated. How could it not be? But there is some impressive stuff here. Alright. So let's start the Vega campaign. Yeah, so this here, it makes way more sense to me. In the other versions that I played, like Amiga and shit, you actually, like, got to fly around for a little bit there before you suddenly exploded. And I was like, why the fuck am I exploding, you know? Why am I flying here for a second before I explode? Here, it comes off much more clear because you don't have any control over it. So it's very clear that you're just, like... You're just practicing, you know? Whereas the other one, yeah, you got to fly around for a couple seconds, then you exploded, and then it was like a high score that you got or something. It's like, how did I get a high score? It seemed like I just started and then I exploded. So, yeah. But alright, look at this screen here. I mean, this is crazy. You got music playing. You've got multiple people, all animated, moving. And it's like a point and click. We can just talk to different ones. So let's talk to Shot Glass.
Belly on up, friend, and take a load off. You must be Hotshot. I'm Shot Glass. Welcome aboard the Claw. I used to be a pilot myself. Till the flea bag shot me up so bad I couldn't fly. I guess I flew with most every pilot on the Claw. So if you want to know how one pilot or another flies, old Shot Glass is the guy to ask. Stop by when you're off duty and we'll talk more.
Yeah. Alright, so there you have it. Now, of course, the originals, most versions just had subtitles and just had text to read. But here, Sega CD, we got full voice acting for everybody. Which is pretty wild. I mean, the Sega CD, obviously not a well-respected console in most circles. All the FMV games and things like that. But here you have a good example of just a game, a normal game that is improved with voice acting. And it's legible.
Och, laddie, take a seat and tilt a glass with old Paladin. I recall once when I was just a lieutenant like yourself there. We were flying patrol over the Accord, the fourth planet in the Alliance system. These 4 Kilrathi Salthi came zooming in with the sun at their backs.
What's the point, monsieur? There is one, oui?
I was leading up to it, lass. That day, we learned that a Salthi will always turn to the left. It's got something to do with the way their engines and ducts are arranged. So when you tail a salty, what's to the left? That's where he'll go when he makes his break.
Yeah, it's a little much. So here we can actually fly the full training mission if we want, but we don't need to. You can check the pilot's scores. Now, in the other versions, you got to name yourself. This one, you're always just hot shot, which, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And it's funny, the only thing I've ever known about Wing Commander, really, or, like, experienced of myself before this, was I saw the film. If you didn't know, there's a Wing Commander movie from 1999, starring Freddie Prinze Jr., Saffron Burrows, Matthew Lillard. And I watched it, I don't remember when, probably like mid-2000s or something like that. And I watched it, and it was just like, fine. I didn't really think much of it. And it was only later that I found out that it was really, like, shit on. I mean, really panned. And then I watched Spoonie's review of it, who's a big Wing Commander fan, and he really fucking tore it apart. So, yeah. Anyways, so I'm familiar with, like, Devereaux and stuff, just because of that.
Bonjour, Lieutenant. You are called Hotshot, no? I am called Angel. I'm just reviewing some figures on our recent encounters with the Kilrathi. You would like to know what I have learned, perhaps? The Drothy is the Kilrathi fighter seen most in this sector. These figures show that 1.4 missiles are required to destroy the Drothy, while over 7 direct laser hits are necessary to destroy the same vessel. I hope this information is useful to you, Lieutenant.
Yes, massively. Let's go into the barracks. So we can save here. We can look at our medals. We can go back to the bar. We can exit to the main menu, or we can go to the mission hangar, which is what we want to do.
We've got a lot of work to do, people, so let's get to it. The Tiger's Claw dropped from jump space 7 hours ago at 0800. Blue Devil Squadron had first patrol. You Killer Bees have the next shift. You rookies will be flying with experienced pilots on your first missions. I want the rookies to fly as wing leaders. You vets keep an eye on the kids out there. Here are the assignments. Hotshot, you're leading Alpha Wing. Spirit will fly on your wing. She's quiet, but she knows the ropes. You're the wing leader, but if Spirit talks, you be sure and listen. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Here's your patrol plan, then. Computer, display Alpha. You'll check 3 possible jump points at about 20,000 clicks out. There are asteroids near nav points 2 and 3, so stay on course. Any questions?
Yes, Commander. What are we to do if we encounter the enemy?
Engage if the odds look good. Let Hotshot make the call. Next is Beta Wing.
Your thoughts wander as the commander makes the rest of the assignments.
And back to the Tiger's Claw. Remember, this is no train sim. If you see the enemy, he'll be out to kill you. Be sure you do it to him before he does it to you. Squadron dismissed.
Yeah, alright. So, I know we're not playing the original version, but it's basically this. I mean, it's really not different than this. The only difference really is the voice acting. So everything else, I mean, it just looks great in the original for the 1990. Alright, and thus we begin the first mission. Alright, so, here we are. We've got our joystick. This cross is our destination. This button fires our blaster. It's pretty simple. This button that is not doing anything, this is like our targeting thing. So we can change our target. And then if I press and hold this, we can do a roll, or we can do up and down to control our speed. So we can actually go up 421 kilometers per second. So we're going fucking fast now. We'll close in.
Excuse me, Commander. I have noticed enemy ships. Ready to engage, Commander.
Alright, so we've got 3 enemy ships. We've auto-targeted one. And we gotta just blow them up. So, controlling your speed. I mean, we can really just ratchet it up and get in there, I guess. They're coming head-on, though. We want to avoid the volleys. Just took a shot. Yeah, so here's where the graphics and gameplay really start to look dated. It's playable. You know, it functions. There we go, we got a ship. Now we reposition, get on this one's tail. And yeah, on the DOS version stuff, I mean, you can play with your mouse, and it's fine. Hold on, let me speed up. You can play with a joystick, of course, if you have one. Nice, 2 down. Doing well. And I think it's certainly more playable than Elite was, just for a casual pick-up and play kind of thing. But still, we've come a long way in the last 30 years. Jesus. Wingman almost flying into me. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what she said there. But we won. I don't know if I meant to follow her or just we fly around until something happens. You see how much like faster I shoot when there's no enemies nearby? Yeah, I feel like Wing Commander 1 just has a lot of issues with speed. And I don't know. And it's like, you could remake it, but why? You know. They're busy with Star Citizen. Everything goes into that. Why would they bother remaking Wing Commander 1? So, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I have no target. No button does anything. Can I just fly into the Milky Way? Yeah, I really have no idea. I can go fast. And fly into my wingman. Does she want me to shoot her?
I respectfully request that you attack the enemy.
There are no enemies. Oh, that's like a boost. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, I have missiles too. If I hold... There it is. Missile 2, away. I really don't know what I'm supposed to do. Unless there's some other button combo. Why would it not just end? Oh, there it is. Pressing those two buttons at the same time, of course. Alright, so now we're heading to second navigation point. We can boost. Just keep mashing that boost. Oh my god, the speed! The speed! Oh, look at that. Max speed. Gun in it. Oh god, I died. Oh my god. Dead as shit.
We are gathered here to pay tribute to one of our own, Second Lieutenant Hotshot. It is always sad to lose a pilot, but it is especially difficult when he is as young as Hotshot. He died without even a chance to prove himself.
Company, attention! Prepare!
Farewell, Hotshot. You'll be missed.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
Wow. I mean, that is a death screen. That is a death animation right there. Yeah. I don't know. Let's try and find some contemporary thoughts. 2002, 2001, 2003, 2012. Oh, this is the polygon shit. Remember this polygon nonsense? Do you even remember this insanity? Let's find Wing Commander here, shall we? Where do we think it's going to be? Top 500 games of all time. It's at 239. Highly expensive and highly successful, the visual precedent set forth with Wing Commander marked a shift for many in game development. Many games that followed had to live up to the graphical and mechanical panache of this space combat simulator. Great. Most impressive games of their time. Okay, I can get on board with that. But that's not what it is. Best games of all time. Do I think Wing Commander 1 holds up? No. Not really a chance in hell. And I say that having not played any of the other Wing Commanders. But based on this list, they're attesting that Wing Commander 1 is the best game in the entire series. Now, if I just do a search for best Wing Commander, here's a vote, a poll. Okay, this is a very small sample size, but this is the Wing Commander, like, website and forum. So this is the hardcore fans. A total of 43 votes. 4 of them were for Wing Commander 1. This was from 2003, by the way, this poll. 10 for Wing Commander 2, 12 for Wing Commander 3, 15 for Wing Commander 4. Basically, almost no one prefers the first game of from the hardcore Wing Commander fans. And you go through the discussions, I mean, no one is talking about Wing Commander 1. They're all touting like, oh, 2's really good, oh, but 3 I loved, 4 has such a great storyline, and, you know, it's like, who the fuck is talking about Wing Commander 1? This is what I'm saying, right? This is just what I'm saying. You got these lists that sometimes they're just paying respect. That's all it is. I don't know. And I haven't played much, so I'm just trying to, you know, collect information based on people that have played all of them. So I don't know. I mean, would I just say, based on what I've played and all that, Wing Commander 1 is the best game of all time? One of the best games of all time? Probably not. Impressive at the time, all that stuff. We've mentioned this before. But no. Just looking at various Reddit threads. Yeah, I mean, most people seem to like Wing Commander 3. That seems to be a very popular one. Wing Commander 2 gets mentioned a decent amount. Privateer gets mentioned a decent amount. I mean, it's not like no one mentions 1, but it's uncommon. And the people that do mention 1 mention it because they played it when it came out. And thus, nostalgia rears its ugly head, as always. So, we're going to go with no on Wing Commander. Crazy that it's the only one to make the list. I mean, the series must have just really fallen off with, like, mainstream recognition, whereas Wing Commander 1 was a big deal when it came out. I guess Wing Commander 3 was not a big deal. There's too much other stuff going on. I don't know exactly. I don't know the specifics. What did Wing Commander 3 come out on? DOS. Yeah. Like, home computers and stuff like that definitely got pushed aside mid-90s to, like, mid-2000s and stuff like that. I mean, it was still ongoing. There were still great games being released, but most mainstream attention was on consoles. Starting with the NES on, that's what mainstream people talked about. I mean, you were playing any sort of game, and a parent was like, you know, turn off that Nintendo. Didn't matter what you were playing. You could have been playing Xbox 360. Turn off that fucking Nintendo. You know, I mean, it's just like PC gaming just really fell by the wayside. And you put out something like Wing Commander 3, which was not going to work on, like, the PlayStation 1. This came out in 94. So, you know, this is not an SNES thing. This was computers only. And that's just tough to really get big mainstream attention. And I was into PC gaming starting in 96. I mean, I was big on Diablo, Half-Life, you know, Age of Empires, StarCraft, Warcraft. But that was really just because my dad was, like, you know, he worked with computers as part of his job, and he was big into gaming, so that was it. Otherwise, yeah, most people I knew just had fucking consoles. Anyways, getting off on a tangent, I think we're done here. So Wing Commander 1 does not hold up. I apologize if that offends you. Probably will not. Doesn't seem like there's too many diehard fans of Wing Commander 1 out there. But there you have it. My name is Mangg. This has been Mangg Plays the Best Games of All Time with Wing Commander. I'll see you fine folks next time.